Hello everyone, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee and welcome to this video. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this finds you well. The card I'm going to make today is one we made at a recent card club. I have an in-house card club that I host here in North Lincoln, and this is a card we made together, so I thought I would share it with you. Now this uses some of the new product from the annual catalogue that started in May 2023. And you can see here, this is the card. It uses the circle saying stamp set, and I have used a punch that's retired, but I just love my circle punches. And this one uses the delightfully eclectic designer series paper, and I've used both patterns but the same sheet of paper, so it just shows, just even with one pattern, with one sheet of paper, you can still make a lovely card, and it just helps to stretch your supplies and use them in a different way, which is always useful, don't you agree? So here's the stamp set, and it's circle sayings, as you can see, and we're going to use here just this little floral piece and also the sentiment. So I'm just going to get a scrap of basic white cardstock to do some stamping on, and I've got all my stamp sets ready here. I know the colour looks a bit off on the camera, but I promise you this is Calypso Coral, and we're going to be using Old Olive as well. So let's start off with my Calypso Coral. And we're just going to ink this up, just gently, tap, tap, tap. And then I'm just going to make sure I have enough space, and down, hold, give it a little press, and up. And there we go. There is our Calypso Coral. So now close up that ink pad. As you know, I like to close up my ink pads as I go along, so there's no chance anything can fall in it. And now I'm actually going to punch out this piece so I know exactly where to stamp my sentiment. So this is the new punch, and this is the 2 3/8 circle punch. And I love my circle punches. I'm so grateful they brought out another one. I will never ever get rid of my circle punches. They are the best as far as I'm concerned. So now that we've punched that out, isn't that pretty? I'm going to bring in my 2.5-inch circle punch, and this is a retired one. And I'm going to punch out a piece here out of, what's this cardstock here? Fresh Freesia cardstock. Okay, so let's get all our scraps put away so that they don't get in the way. And now we're going to just quickly stamp our sentiment. And we're going to do that now in Old Olive. And this is just the sentiment that says here, I think it says a warm hello. I've used this quite a few times. I like that idea, just a little something to say. Hello, I like you, nice to see you today, thank you for being part of my life. I think it's just a lovely little thing, so cute and sweet. So that's all stamped up now. So what are we going to do now? We're going to start to assemble our card, and you can see here this time I've used also the delightfully eclectic paper, but a different pattern. And I love this pattern here where you've got all the strawberries, and you can see here we're going to use the opposite side, just to opposite pattern, and we're just going to have a strip here that measures about 5 centimeters wide, and we're just going to adhere this down to our panel, and our panel actually measures 14.35 centimeters by 10 centimeters, and I'm just going to use my stamp and seal just to adhere that down. And you can put it wherever you want on the paper. You can go higher, lower, whatever takes your fancy. And I've cut it a bit longer than need be, so that if my measurements weren't exact, it would still fit the whole piece of paper. And then we're just going to cut off the overhang just like that. Lovely jubbly. Okay, so now we're ready to start to assemble our card, and we're going to put this down on our card base. So some more stamp and seal on the back. There we go. And we're going to bring in our card base, and this is just a standard A6 card base. That's an A4 sheet cut in half and then folded in half, and this is just thick basic white cardstock. I love to use thick basic white for my card bases. They just make really good card bases that don't flop over or anything like that. Really, really good. And now we can put our sentiment down, and we can really layer up our little sentiment on top of our Fresh Freesia piece. and a little bit more Stampin' Seal. Now this just gives the very minutest of borders around it, but I think it does just help to set it off. I like to always have a border around my things. I think it helps to focus the eye on the focal image if you have a border, and it tells you where the end of the project is. I like it. But there you go, it's like a picture frame on a picture on a painting. So now here I have a strip of old olive cardstock, and this measures 2.5 centimeters wide, and we're just going to cut this down to whatever length we want it to be. So we're just going to cut this down to 2.5 centimeters. You can see here, cutting this down, which is roughly about 2 inches, and this is because the opening of the punch we're going to use, the slot, is about 2 inches wide, so that's why we're cutting that down. And yes, I know I've mixed inches and centimeters, but the punch is from America, and America are still using imperial measurements. They don't use centimeters. I grew up using centimeters, and I really like centimeters and the metric system, so hence me trying to use that as much as possible. So here's the punch, and this is the Banner's Picker Punch, and you can just see me unlocking it at the base like that. And now you can see here this is going to fit on the widest little slot, and we're just going to pen it either ends of our strip of old olive cardstock. So let's put one in, and then put the other strip in. It's obviously wanting to fight me here. Why one goes in fine and the other side doesn't want to go in, I haven't got the foggiest, but we do win. It's mostly user error. There, yeah, it is user error. Of course it is. There we go. Lovely. And I like this punch just to pen at the edges, because I know you can do it the old-fashioned way, but to be very blunt, it never works for me. My pennants always look a little lopsided, and this really just stops that happening, and it looks perfect. And so there, we're going to put a little bit of steel on here, and we're going to whack this down onto the card, just deciding where it wants to go, trying to keep it as straight as possible. You know, don't worry if it's a little crooked. It's meant to be handmade, it's not machine made. Now we're going to pop these up on some dimensionals, so let me find my dimensionals. Here they are. And I'm very generous with my dimensionals, as you will know if you've watched any of my videos before. And this is a good chance for me to say that if you are enjoying this video, please do consider giving it a thumbs up. It really helps my videos become more visible on YouTube, helps any content creators' videos become more visible. And please do consider subscribing to my video, subscribing to my channel rather, for all lots of crafty inspiration. I tend to post card making videos, bags and boxes mainly, but also some mixed media as well. So I'm going to just take the backings off all of my dimensionals here, and then we're just going to lay this down onto our card, just like that. I've obviously decided I'm not happy with my strip, and if you're very gentle, very careful, and a good bit of luck, you can pull it back up and move it across like that. I think I did this because I wanted it to be in the centre of my punched piece, and it was a bit too far over to the left. So there we go. Yeah, now I'm a happy chappy. So put that down. There we go. And then we're just going to finish off with some finishing touches. And I have these here. These are the tinsel gems, and this is the 3-pack here. And I'm going to use the Fresh Freesia colour, which is the centre one, just to add a little bit of something, and I'm just going to get my pokey tool just to help me move that, and there we go. So I'm going to put that little back in its little home. I just store mine in these A6 little document wallets, and it keeps them nice and safe. And there we have our cards. Aren't they cute? You can tell me which one you prefer. Do you prefer the Calypso Coral or the Misty Moonlight version, i.e. the coral or the blue? Let me know in the comments below. I love to read your comments. So thank you for joining me today, and until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye.